Hey y'all, I'm Jay. I'm a singing and songwriting teacher, and today I'm going to be taking a look at Aurora singing Lucky at Nidarosdomen. Shout out to subscriber Tim Grodeski for recommending this one to me. Let's get into it. Oh, that's a beautiful space. Wow.
When I am down, I lay my hands upon this ground.
All right, so right at the beginning, we get some very, very clear aspirate onsets, particularly on the word hand. Hands. So that little bit of an H sound, that little bit of air before the beginning of each of her words really allows for her phrases to feel very, very smooth. She's really, really good at that. I also, from a songwriting standpoint, really appreciated the small descending line on ground. On the ground. There's this concept in songwriting called prosody, which basically means the appropriate relationship between elements. And when melody and the words kind of come together like that, that's an example of prosody. And I am always a huge fan of whenever somebody can do that and pull that off really, really well. I think that's very smart songwriting.
And for the 1,000th time, I call him in, his earth is mine.
I love her ability to use slides in a really, really creative way. Like on the phrase, call him in. I call him in. I think that that adds a little subtle touch to that particular lyric that just brings it out more and again adds to the meaning of what she's saying there by just making a really smart vocal choice. So pretty.
Before I make the offering.
I noticed on that lyric about the offering, about her making the offering, that's when the choir kind of comes and joins in with her. That kind of adds to this religious or ritualistic connotation behind what she's saying. Very smart arrangement choice there.
Remember all the faces that I see.
Whoa.
The marks have settled on my skin.
So we get another smart use of a slide on that lyric, settled on my skin. On my skin. That little descending slide really adds a lot of character and dimension to that line. It really makes sense with it as well. Choir sounds amazing too.
From
Wow.
all the different places that I've been, and I feel the light for the very first time.
So going into the chorus there, she goes into a pure head register or falsetto sound on and I, and then she goes back into her head mix into a slightly like louder place in the rest of the chorus with feel the light. And what I really, really love is that on the word light, she goes to a really, really bright I. I feel the light on a bright vowel there. And when you sing on a bright kind of spread smiley vowel there, it literally gives more light. It gives the sound more harmonics and places it more forward. It makes it more present to the listener. So that's a brilliant choice with that particular lyric there. Ooh.
Not anybody knows that I'm lucky to be alive, and I feel the light for the very first time. Not anybody knows that I'm lucky to be alive.
I like that on the lyric about war, we got the drums of war kind of coming in. Another smart arrangement choice there.
Inside my mind, behind my eyes, is calm and dark.
So we get some more descending slides on the word eyes and coming down.
And for 1,000 times I feel too numb to even try. Before I make the offering, remember all the faces that I've seen.
So I had to back up a little bit just to make sure, but what I noticed is that on this particular iteration of the pre-chorus, the chorus is actually singing the words with her. And this really adds a lot of weight to the word, to the lyrics, all the faces that I've seen, because now we get sort of this auditory representation of the faces and the people that she's talking about. Whereas before, the choir was more acting as a pad of sorts, as kind of like oohs and ahs to kind of fill out the sound and just add more atmosphere. Now the choir actually feels like a bunch of characters involved in the story.
The marks have settled on my skin from all the different places that I've been. And I feel delight for the very first time. Not anybody knows that I'm lucky to be alive. And I feel delight for the very first time.
I have chills. Wow.
Not anybody knows that I'm lucky to be alive.
I really like the smart choice of phrasing here on the title of the song the second time around. I'm lucky to be alive. She really shortens it there and kind of makes it staccato. But what I get from that is that it almost feels like that phrase is like a difficult sentence or a difficult idea even for her to come to terms with, because she's kind of talking it, but it's almost like it's difficult for her to say. So I really like that. I think it adds a lot to the character and a lot to the story of the song. Yes.
I don't know where I am, where I go, where to even begin when I know.
So here in what I'm assuming is the bridge section of the song, we get a very beautiful, like pure head register slash falsetto sound that really makes sense with her talking about kind of floating through the planes of space and time and kind of not knowing what to do. I think that that adds a lot to the overall character and lyricism.
What lies behind makes no sense in my mind, but I know that it's time to let go.
I love that on the lyric "let go," we get the full force of just everything coming in. All of the elements are now kind of coming in and just letting loose. And she's taking us to an even higher kind of pitch range with her voice as well. Beautiful choice. Beautiful, just beautiful arrangement and songwriting there. Ooh. Wow.
And I feel delight for the very first time. Not anybody knows that I'm lucky to be alive. And I feel delight for the very first time. Not anybody knows that I'm lucky to be alive. I'm lucky to be alive. I'm lucky to be alive.
Wow. That was incredible. God. Sheesh. All right, y'all. So that was my reaction to Aurora singing Lucky at Nidarosdomen. Hopefully, I didn't butcher that name too badly. I did try. I'm so sorry to anybody from Norway. Don't come for me too badly. I did try. I looked it up and everything. But yeah, that performance was really special. I had chills during a lot of it. There were moments I started to get really teary eyed, especially when the choir came in with her. I thought that was really, really beautiful.
Remember all the faces that I've seen.
I'm already having a lot of fun just kind of starting to slowly delve into Aurora's stuff. I don't know a lot about her as an artist still. I'm learning, but it seems like she is an artist that has a lot of layers to her, a lot of depth. And I love that. She seems like she has a lot to offer, a lot to give, a lot of different sounds, a lot of different ideas, a lot of just character in general. So I'm really, really excited to check out, just more of her works. I'm definitely going to check out more of the clips from the cathedral in general, because I have to say, one thing that really, really stood out to me was just the spectacular sound quality from this performance.
I know that it's time to let go.
I actually went to school in college for music production and audio engineering, all that stuff. So that's something that I noticed right off the bat. And I mean, that sound was pristine. It was gorgeous. And it looked like everything was mic'd. All of the background vocalists, all of the choir members had mics, and it looked like all of the string instruments were mic'd up as well. And I'm sure that was the case for like the organs, and it looked like the drums as well.
And I feel the light for the very first time.
So that is a feat in and of itself that is very difficult to pull off. I actually work for an orchestra, helping them kind of project manage some of their recordings, and I'm there for some of the recordings of the project. So I know how difficult that can be. It takes a lot of work to pull off something like that. So job well done to those sound engineers. Sound engineers are some of the unsung heroes of music, and they're the ones responsible for making all of the records and performances that we all love sound so good. So it's hard. Shout out to the sound engineers out there. I do have to say though, from a songwriting perspective, I was really surprised just from like the title of the song and what the actual song is about. When I heard the word lucky, I thought that this was going to be like a happy-go-lucky song. I thought it was going to be like upbeat and maybe like ethereal, but like in a happy, positive way. I was not expecting this. I was not expecting like this deep self-reflection of a life that's been difficult.
Not anybody knows that I'm lucky to be alive.
That is the complete opposite of what I was expecting, and I love when song titles kind of tease us like that, when they mean they kind of stand for like the complete opposite of like what I thought it was actually gonna kind of project and kind of gonna be about. So that was a pleasant surprise. It was heavy, but it was still so beautiful and still moving and much deeper than I was actually expecting it for it to be, which I already thought it was gonna be deep in the first place. So that was nice to see. But yeah, I mean, altogether, I'm very impressed with her phrasing, her consistency of her instrument. It's a very balanced instrument. It's not particularly bombastic, but it's very smooth. It's very intentional with the choices of phrases that she makes.
Not anybody knows that I'm lucky to be alive.
Phrasing can completely elevate a vocal performance. To me, that is the difference between like somebody that can just kind of sort of sing and an artist, is how you phrase your music and kind of how you bring the lyrics that you're singing to life. And, Aurora, I can tell is a consummate professional artist because she was able to do that not only with this song, but also with somebody else's song. She was able to elevate the meaning with like small vocal choices that she was making with the register qualities, the type of vowels that she was making, as well as the slides that she was incorporating in there, which I think are super interesting.
I call him in.
Because I don't see very many singers outside of jazz using those in like a very smart, tasteful way, but she was able to incorporate those in there in a way that was beautiful and made perfect sense with like every single time she used a slide in there, it made perfect sense with the lyrics, and it was stunning. It was beautiful. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching, and keep leaving me your recommendations down below in the comments. I might choose yours next. And as always, if you found anything that I said to be helpful, insightful, or anything like that, feel free to hit like, comment, subscribe, all of that really great stuff. It genuinely does help, and I appreciate it. Thanks.